Thokozani, I am Pobadimu, the advocate of Idlozi, and I welcome you to my channel. Thank you so much for choosing to view my video. Well, today we'll be carrying on from our sister topic, rather the heavy topic that we are having, speaking about rewriting history. It was a very powerful topic where I also learned a thing of you, and I appreciated the energies that were brought about by Spirit in terms of, elaborating on things that we are not necessarily aware of, but now we can have more insight as into how to move forward. And I perfectly understand why the message was suitable at a time like this, because there's so much, great energies of starting over. It is a new year. It is a new time. So we have an opportunity to start over and wrong our rights. So it's never too late to redirect or rewrite, your family's legacy or your history or whatever you're going to leave behind. Because the fact of the matter is, at some point, we are going to be ancestors. And the question you need to ask is, what kind of ancestor am I going to be? And what kind of ancestors am I going to be to my kids' kids? What legacy am I leaving behind? What generation, what is that generation coming after me going to say about me? Uma being pasha being biza, what are they going to ask of me? So it's those type of things that we need to look at, because spirituality is evolving and we cannot escape that. So in this video, I just hope to shed some light on a few necessary pointers, and hope to stick to more English, because I did see the comment complaining that I need to speak more in English, but I did explain that some things are not very easy to explain in English, and especially when I'm elaborating things as messages come from the Spirit, it sometimes become more of a hindrance for me to elaborate more in English. So I would have allowed subtitles, but what subtitles do, they will be I will be saying something and it will be saying something totally different. So I don't want us to walk that route, but where you don't understand, get some clarity so that you are able to move forward yourself. So in terms of izinto zamadlozi, we can never have this topic or the debate that we have with religion and everything else, because kunezinto that are gonna happen, and izinto zozenza, they're gonna contradict with your beliefs or your religion or whatever the case might be. So I always say, where do you stand as a person? Are you going to hide behind the fact that you're confused and you lost? Where do you stand? Do you believe or don't you believe in ancestors? Who are you, at the end of the day? Because we pass this point of convincing each other. You need to have something that you stand on, because if you don't stand for anything, you're going to fall for everything. So when it comes to the part yamadlozi, especially namakhaya, because we go and consult and we're being told ukuthi amadlozi awekho ekhaya, noma amadlozi amegedini, noma amadlozi aguqile pavementini, noma you hear all these things, but the analogy around that, I think sometimes we don't explain enough as healers, and we often leave people more confused as how they are. You be hearing someone and saying, hey, but baba mumenga day in, day out, ubaba is standing there with nothing to do, nowhere to go, but standing there. So we often confuse people, and we have instilled fear and understanding. But today I want to speak to you as someone that wants to redirect the family's legacy and wants to start over and wants to fix things on a cleaner slate. The first thing we need to look at is that ikhaya is protected by amadlozi, but if ikhaya linganawo amadlozi ngaphakathi, kusuke kube inkinga, because that is when all these entities kuyalahlelwa izinto, kwenzakala izinto ezingcolile, nabantu abathesta uganga, abathestelekini, izinto nje ezisnacks, niphila nemikhokha lapha ejardini, uma kusebusuku izinto ezisnacks zenzakala, nizwa footsteps in the a lot of things happen, because noma umuzi in reality ongena mama no baba, you can tell, abantu bayadelela lelo khaya, abantu do whatever they want, bayangena umuntu athatha teaspoon agoqoze next door, abantu bayachama ngaphandle, abantu bachekana lapho, a lot of things happen. But uma ekhaya linabazali, kuba naleso stima, naleso sithunzi, as uma nobungena, you can feel the warmth that there is. So the often thing that we do as thina abantu abamnyama is that once umuntu simngcwabile ekhaya, we leave them, you know. Siyahamba maybe somlanda la mhlawumbe ashonele khona esibhedlela, but then we often leave them at the graveside. So I've said this in a previous video that whenever I would visit the graveside, you would feel the energies, you know, you would get spirits that come up to you and want you to pass messages to their families, because labo bantu labo abagalanda. So I know sometimes some people will say that what happens to the whole part of crossing over, what happens to all of this. I want to explain all of those things for you so that you know now better, so you can do better. Once we know better, we actually do better. So I died today, right? So mangshona will a 3-month period or whatever, 2-month period or whatever the case might be. That's why ekhaya kwenziwa into ekuthiwa siyazila. Because uma sizilile noma senzeni, we are respecting that I have passed on. Because la ngisuke ngilele khona, ngisuke, my spirit is still bound to my body to a certain extent, because inyongo yami isuke ingakayenzeni, ingakabhuboki, right? So I stay there tuning lami and boom boom boom. 3 months, I'm down the line. Inyongo yami ipestile and boo boo boo. Now I can fully cross over to the other side. Now I can fully be transparent in your dreams. Now a lot of things can happen, because things happen differently per spirit depending on the role they play ancestrally. But now coming back to this thing that I want to elaborate on. If nila that believe we don't mourn and all these things, because people think after 10 days all is done. 10 days is just the mourning period, you know, for me to immerse myself in this new nature, you know, familiar but unfamiliar nature. And then after 10 days, niyakwazi ukuthi nikhululeke ezumndeni, nigeze ingubo, whatever the case might be, but imuzi nomuzi uyagezwa of umuntu ongasekho, because if anikwenzi lokho niyafana nokuthi nisesenzilweni, and nami la ngikhona niyafana nokuthi nisesenzilweni up until nibe nenza umsebenzi ekhaya, whereby you slaughter whatever you slaughter. That is why in some instances, some other cultures believe in the cutting of hair, because it is a new start. So now that whenever I relate to you or connect to you, Sengizagini as an ancestor, not a stray spirit, not a dead mpo, but as an ancestor, you know, it allows me the platform, because the slaughtering of leso leso of that cleansing serves as a sacrifice to allow me gateway to cross over to emadluzin wami, you know, because within the period that I'm still with you in spirit, I'm still sorting out my things, sorting out my luggage, looking at my wigs, how you guys are doing and operating things. Because yes, amadlozwami would have welcomed me, but I would not be able to access the ancestral space as how I would need to, because there is a waiting period after all. So kunamadlozi that have been forever stuck in the waiting period, abagagezelwa, abagabuyiswa ekhaya, akakenzakali next, and to a certain extent abanye baze basafake inzilo because of that. So how it translates to lababa selemuva, stagnation, izinto ezingacaci, zonke izinto ezihlangahlangene. And I often say, let us not point amadlozi sometimes, because we are misinformed, we senza izinto wrongfully. So it's important to observe izinto noma certain rituals, so that we avoid backsliding and avoid finding ourselves at obstacles. Because I always say, it's not every time when you go to consult and your life is a mess, it's always witchcraft, madlozi, calling. Sometimes we need to look deeper as spiritual people, as into, is everything, do we tick the boxes? Yeah, I understand. So now, it is very important nikwenze logo, so that when you do that, the cleansing of the house or the cleansing of umuzi, umuntu uyalandwa ayenzeni abuyise ekhaya. Right? Because one thing I can tell you is that you can make a huge tombstone for a person and nimenzele this fancy tombstone ephuma savannah, but if anenzanga protocol, you're just doing it for people's, you are just doing it for our eyes at the end of the day, because spiritually niyaleka. But the question is, did you follow protocol? Did you do things wrong? So if you know that that person was or whatever the case might be, nothing has been done, senza umsebenzi wenhlambuluko basihlambulula ikhaya, and now we're going to fetch the spirit of you know, our ancestors, not the spirit of the dead, because I don't have dead ancestors. The spirit of our ancestors. We go and fetch their spirit. So the whole thing of ukubuyisa umuntu omdala noma idlozi lakini ekhaya is that bangahambeli bazula where they have nothing to do, because it's like you making all their sacrifices to be in vain. But uma bekhona ekhaya, they're able to protect umuzi, they're able to guide, they're able to you know, banondle. La ngihlale ngisho ngithi umuzi onedlozi ngaphakathi anyeke nilale ningadlanga, no matter how harsh the situation be. No ngoba nizolala niphuza itiya nesinkwa. But idlozi will always make a plan. It will always provide. So if you're watching this and kunomuntu egini owazi kahle ukuthi they departed and nothing was done for them, ninomsebenzi omkhulu. Reach out to their family. Bese mhlambe nilungisele everyone else, because sometimes in some regards abo baba nabo mama their things tend to be done differently, you know, because they are abantu abadala ekhaya. But if it was an aunt or an uncle, you are able to merge, you know, abo auntie nabo malume nibalande bese nibuyisa abantu abadala ekhaya nibenzele lokho ekudinga ukuthi nibenzele inhlambululo, because that is when you can officially say nenze umsam. To avoid this whole thing of going to consult and you being told good and now you don't know what to do, because walking around that path, cleansing the house, it's very practical and simple things. But now would depend on of the cleansing of the house, what is going on around there. I'm not talking about when someone comes to your house and starts roaring like a tiger and acting crazy, and every time you try to come around them, they don't want you, they just act crazy, you know, they just act crazy. And then they show up with these bottles and they say they found them in your yard, and they come and say, okay, they come with them here. Isn't it? We've been there, guys. The things that happen on the other side. So they come there because they were taught that when you go whatever, you need to go there and carry these things with you so that they can believe you found these things here. And they say these things are available everywhere. I buy them. I put my face oils there, I put my muti inside here, I put anything I want to put in this bottle, and they come in all sizes. So don't be fooled by people that are gonna come and show you this bottle, because we know they put these things inside, then they close them, put them inside mud, and then obviously and obviously you don't see this and then they act crazy. They came with these things. We've been scammed, people. I know, I've been there myself. I've been scammed by these bottles. So don't worry, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about umuntu that's gonna come into a yard, and all of these other things. You need to look at the times. You need to look at pinky, you know, the making of the doll. Don't go for those things. I'm talking about someone that is gonna genuinely come and necessarily am I able to use umuti like her? Because akusiwona wonke umuzi odinga ukuthi ufakelwe umuti. Amanye amadlozi themselves believe that they can take care of their own. Just clean their yard. So umuntu onjalo, there are people that specialize in that. That's why I'm saying ukuthi sometimes this whole thing of sonke siyathwasa, sonke siziza ngoma, siyahamba siyofunda amanga bese siyabuya senza a monkey see monkey do situation whereby we are treating everyone ngamabhodlela, not to only, you know, things. So I don't actually care how they feel about this, because they know whoever's catching feelings. Whoever's catching feelings, the truth about these bottles. Now I keep my face oils in here and my toners, because I lose my things. I have so many products, so I lose my things. But so I'm avoiding the situation. But in terms of that, then bese ngilungisela ukubuyisa amadlozi ekhaya. Uma niyolanda amadlozi ningahamba nehlahla, or sometimes things are done differently, but in most cases nizohlaba imbuzi, you know, whatever it is, because normally imbuzi sugi serve as that, you know, reunion, or rather that data you are just producing to the ancestors. So that's where we are. So if you know that ekaya, this is the situation, kele kwashona I understand that nothing was done, it is time to start over and nenze izinto right. And then akhona fuze nibheke ukuthi ikhaya lihlala kulikhaya lakabani, lo muntu loyo was they fetch or anything else. And if uhlala maybe endlini kamama nobaba, you go do your research. Ugogo ubuyisiwe ekhayeni lakhe, umkhulu wabuyise ekhayeni lakhe, because lani phahlela khona mele kube kunamadlozi abe ekhona. Ningathatha amadlozi nwalande nwabeke emzini kagogo, kanti kagogo kuhlala abaqashi. Ubani ozonakekela lo msamo la, ubani ozoyenza into ezayo. So amadlozi niyawabikela any developments or whatever things you are doing if you are moving A to B, because abogogo bayashona nithengisa izindlu zabogogo nakhama room bese impilo ayisahambi kahle. Kanti uma nikhazile izinto emsamo noma nibikela izinto emsamo, ezinye izinto you avoid, you avoid ezinye izinto. But here we are, we will do better because we know better. So we do all of those things to redirect and fix izinto, and watch how great things go after that, because there is clarity in your life. Then with the whole thing, amadlozi uma siwabuyise ekhaya bazosinakekela basigada abantu abadala. Yes, and when we want, sibenzela into, there's a point of reference and everything else of that sort. Because I won't have this topic of heaven and earth, of heaven and hell, I won't have this topic because of the spiritual wokeness I'm at. That part does not exist. To me, it is either there's a spiritual realm and there's us la emhlabeni, and that's that. Ogunye, there is things of the darkness. But what I want us to understand is that we need to stop this thing of saying ukuthi umuntu maseshonile akanasabelo noma akayenzini. Majority of us are stuck because amadlozi wethu astray. Kunamadlozi that are stray ancestors whereby we don't even know what happened to them. We don't even know where they died. That is when, in such cases, nitola umuntu that is, a healer, whatever, they intervene in that situation. Nihambe, perform some ritual, out there, and go fetch the spirit of that person. Because at the end of the day, akumelanga kube namadlozi ahlukene ekhaya or whatever the case might be. Because uma nihlelela amadlozi, uma nenza izinto zesintu, kuba ngcono, kuba nendlela eya phambili. That is why uma mandla khona, abantu bayabakhela bogogo indlu yabo, kuthiwe le yakabubaba, le yakomama. If umuntu has been blessed in that regard, maybe waba nomuzi wakhe, wabona ukuthi imizi ifile, so now ngizomisa imsamo la ekhaya, ngihlabele the maternal side, ngihlabele the paternal side, because akusekho umuntu onakile, and omunye maybe it's just the maternal side you're looking out for. But trust me, the little you think you are doing is gonna actually go a long way. It is gonna take you very, very far. Trust me. So it also the case sometimes even with abantu abathwasile. You find that idlozi lakho azange lalandwa, azange kwenzakala anything, because ezizangoma, even the way isn't how things are carried out for us, it is different, kuhlukile kakhulu, omunye umuntu mhlawumbe ngendlela ashone ngayo, ngisho sometimes ngezinye impande umuntu bangashonile, especially if mhlawumbe uyisangoma whatever, uphuma ngebonda akaphumi ngomnyango. There's a reason for that, omunye uphuma like there's no, don't ask me, I'm just telling you thini imithetho mhlawumbe ekhona. I was asked this question, when you die, are you gonna want us keeping you ngobonda or ringani? And I looked at them and I was like, get a heli or something. I want to be, understand that, elevated, blessing. Because, why not? We are the ancestors of today. Vulani roof nina nje. Just vool the roof and don't come to my funeral now if you don't have your wig glued on. Think you got to be, glued. You understand, we attached. And so I was just laughing about that, because it's some things that we never really think about. So sometimes you might also be facing a spiritual stagnation because you just went wayotwasa. But if utwasise umuntu waziyo izinto zedlozi, bazokutshela ukuthi before uye ekhaya siyahamba siyohlela izinto zakho, sibone emndenini ukuthi khamba kanjani, because abantu bave bagijimisa ukumisa indumba. Nendumba unondumba mina indumba leso sikhathi indumba yakhona i-empty ayinanix akunanedlozi eli-1 phakathi. So you look at those things and you elaborate as a family, and lo muntu leyo that is guiding you ukuthi okay maybe uyothatha into zakho endaweni so noma mele siyenzeni ugogo abuyise ekhaya sesomphahlela into ezifana njengalezo, so that you are one. Because no matter how much we can go or how far we can go, izinto ziyalandelwa ngesiko, because abanye amasiko mhlawumbe asebenzisa imvu, amanye asebenzisa imbuzi, but kuyabalekile because into sigijimisile la guys, it's the nyongo, it's the bow. That's what we are after. So let us avoid abogogo bameke idini, abogogo basivalela ukuthi singakwazi ukuthi sibe nabantu because bagcwele. Guys, do the right things. Fetch your gogos and bafake egcekeni. If you are getting those dreams of always dreaming abantu bagini, they are walking around aimlessly, all these other things, or you are watching and you know good unomzali enamshiye graveyard sologo, hey yazin unesquility shem unesquility. Because I always say sometimes then it allows you that maybe your pasha, you can go visit Ituna because often in private, because ekaya you won't. There's all these ancestors, Abu Dora and Abu Anna, so you don't want to speak about your things around Dora. So you go to their gravesite and have that moment, because remember our ancestors are spirit, you know, you can never limit them. But go ngono umangabe gune kaya tiwa laksegu, you know, lagugas manbani and the beauty around that. Yes, we feel you feel the atmosphere, everything just becomes differently. So if we are gonna rewrite this thing, rewrite izinto eziright. You understand that? It doesn't even, because I was also gonna say, you never hear when they are consulting someone who stays in the north saying, hey, your house is dirty. They just tell you to do a ceremony for your lozi. That's when you know some things you must ask questions. Cause ngihlale kasi mina kwingcolile bakupile la ekhaya bayele bafika baguba bafaka nompophi ongagcukanga onganalihlo bamfaka la ekhaya. Guys, let us not do that to our people. Let us yangazi isiphule lezi zinto lezi ama stereotype lawa khona, singayenzi ukuthi nathi sisabu kwenza izinto zamadlozi, because everything masicabanga into zamadlozi sicabanga ukuthi kunobuthakathi. Bukhona vele ubuthakathi, but let us lighten the load. Let us think of our ancestors that want to go further than they have already gone for us. You understand that? Let us do the right things. So I hope ukuthi mhlambe from this video you've picked up a thing or few and you're gonna do something about amadlozegini. I am indeed an advocate of imidlozi, because I always, you know, after every message that I bring out, I honestly walk out with so much pride, because I know amadlozi, like because at least there's someone that is going to do something right for their family. There's someone that is going to do something right ekaya. Even if you're not that person, but elaborate on something good. Guys, this year asithathe imali than good senze ibrai Christmas. Asenze nomsebenzi wamadlozi, sihlambululeni, silungise la kudinga ukuthi silungise khona, fix our wrongs, you know. And indlu kagogo ayishiwa ilenga, guys. Niyahamba niyopenda lapho just because akusena muntu omdala. That's why ngithi ningaforsake lezo zinto. Thengani water paint if imali ayikho. Nilungise kudliwe ila. We understand kwenziwe into eziright, nifunisise niyibonge ukuze amakhaya wenu azohamba ngolayini. Hayi lento esiyenzayo namhlanje qamela amabhayibheli niphuka intamo kodwa anifuna ukulalela. Amen bantu bethu. So I hope this was another insightful video. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and also follow me on Instagram at Mpwabadimu. So I will definitely see you soon around these YouTube streets, but also do leave your comments. I honestly love to hear your comments every time, and I honestly appreciate the feedback you give me. So let us do right, Black people. Let us do right, African people. Let us do right, all of us. Send this into ezi right and do what needs to be done. Singamoshi sintu sethu noma indlela zethu zedlozi sibe ashamed. Never. Never be ashamed of those that came before you. Are you gonna be happy if your great-grandchildren are ashamed of you? Okay, so thank you so much, guys. I'll definitely see you soon. I am Pabadimu, the advocate of Idlozi, and once again, this was another Oh My Idlozi video. I will definitely see you soon. Tagazani.